Welcome to the Michael Singer Podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagrata, Masters. Perhaps many people don't ever go there, but there is, in truth, a place in your heart that never closes. I don't mean sometimes closes. I don't mean conditionally opens or conditionally closes. It's not even a matter of keeping the door open. There are states you can reach where the flow of Shakti is so strong that it literally blows the door off the heart. So there's no longer any door. There's nothing you can do about it. You need to learn to live with love. You all seek love. You all understand that love is a very beautiful and important state. But human love is conditional. Human love exists when the heart opens. But very, very few humans reach the stage that are capable of willfully allowing the heart to open and never letting it close again. What they do is, and you don't blame it, it's part of growing up, it's part of evolving, is they realize at some point that the heart is capable of opening. And it's really beautiful. Y'all wouldn't be here if you didn't know that, would you? All right? It's a very beautiful state. To just feel all that love, to feel all that energy pouring out of the heart. We've discussed before. Have you ever been in a state where your connection with someone that you're very close with, love, that you can just sometimes sit there with this energy pouring out of your heart, connecting with theirs, and they're both just sitting there intoxicated with this flow of love? Have you ever experienced that? I hope you have. It is a natural state that you're capable of. The trouble is, there are reasons that it doesn't last, even if you did feel it when you were younger or in certain situations. Why? Because when the heart closes to that flow of energy, especially to that strong connection, where it's connecting two hearts together and just intoxicated with the flow between you, if anything ever goes wrong, the flow doesn't know where to go. It won't connect anymore with the other person. And the next thing you know, it's causing disaster inside your heart. That's what it means to have a broken heart. That's what it means to become overwhelmed with the pain of too much loving. There's no pain of too much loving in the end, because the heart never closes. When the heart is capable of conditionally closing and you've been open to it flowing and the connection's not working anymore, and it doesn't take much, does it? All somebody has to do is say the wrong thing or not say the right thing or not wear the right thing at the right time. It doesn't take much to close the heart, does it? What it takes is a lot to open the heart. Why? Because it's conditional. Person has to say the right thing, not tell me stuff about their past that I didn't know about, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I didn't know about that. I wouldn't know. It's just, there's so much that has to be exactly right for the heart to truly be open. But it can be. But we are so judgmental. What happens is third chakra closes because of all the judgmental stuff, because of the ego. It does it all the time. It's a normal state. Always complaining about stuff, wanting stuff, not getting what it wants. So always got something going on there. Well, when third chakra is taking the energy, it doesn't go up to the fourth chakra. So sometimes it'll pop up, but then something will go wrong and you close. And it's just absolutely unbelievable. There are people, you told me you'd meet me here at 6. And I've been waiting. I felt so much love. I felt so much yearning for you to be there. Then it was 5 past 6. And the yearning started to turn into, what's wrong? And it was 10 past 6. And it started to feel painful. It started to feel like, oh my God, you don't love me. Why would you do this to me? Well, in Clue when he or she shows up, they ain't getting no love. They're going to hear first about, where were you? Why didn't you call me? Right or wrong? Because the flow of love got blocked by the third chakra. And that's what happens. They got blocked by the ego, got blocked by expectations and judgments and fears and anxieties and everything that the third chakra does, which is pretty much everything. Believe me, you live in your third chakra. You may not know it, okay? But that is like the permanent home. If you happen to get up to the fourth, it's very special. You know that, okay? You give it a name, love, right? But you live in the third, and everything has to be exactly right for that fourth to open. And whoa, what it takes to keep it open. So we'll talk about it. That's what we're going to talk about. Okay? But you have to be willing to understand what's going on. The heart is always capable of loving. That's what it does. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't know judgment, doesn't know fear, doesn't know anxiety, doesn't know preference, doesn't know beliefs. It doesn't know a thing except, whoa, that flow. Okay? And sometimes the flow goes out. And when you're really great, the flow goes up. So we'll discuss that. We'll talk about it. It's all about the energy. It's all about the Shakti. But people don't think it is. They think it's about you and what you did to me and what you didn't do. They think it's about the outside world. And the reason they think it is because the outside world is what needs to be a certain way for your ego, for that whole part of your psyche that has preferences and hopes and dreams and concepts and views and beliefs and all that junk. If it satisfies that, or you think it's going to satisfy that, the heart will open. You'll feel inspiration. You feel attraction. If for 1 second, the ego says, oh, no. Look how she's sitting. She's covering her third chakra. She's not, look at that. She's protecting herself. She's saying she loves, but she doesn't. That's all it takes. And all of a sudden, you don't feel much love, do you? Truth of the matter is, she had a stomach ache. I'm not into this body language stuff. I'm sorry. Because it's all you projecting. What if your uncle was somebody you loved more than anything in the whole world, and he sat like that? He didn't know about body language. But if it doesn't match your stuff, you're closing. Just please understand you close. Because it didn't make it past the ego chakra, which is the third chakra. Right? Preferences, hopes, dreams, concepts, views, beliefs, they're all third chakra. They're all personal. It's all about you. What do I like? What do I not like? What do I believe? What do I not believe? What do I think is right? What do I think is wrong? Every single thing the third chakra says has that little letter I, me, or mine next to it. Just look at your thoughts. Look at how you walk around all day. That's all third chakra. But if something happens to happen outside that matches what it wants or what it thinks will help it, it opens. But it's very rare. Right? And then you can't keep it open because nobody is going to behave exactly the way you want them to. Why? Because they don't even know how you want them to. And you don't even know how you want them to. You know how you know that they did something you didn't like, you close. You know how you know they did something you really do like, you open. But if you write it down on a piece of paper, what you want here, in the morning, write down how you want somebody to behave. It's the worst thing you could ever do. Now you set up an expectation, right? I even told you how I wanted you to be, and you weren't that way. That's why relationships are so hard. That's why love is so hard. Love is not hard. Love is the easiest thing in the whole world. It's always there. It's flowing all the time. You block it with this lower center, which is your ego center, your personal center. And it's hard to talk about because I use the analogy of a fish does not know it's in water. It doesn't have the frame of reference of anything outside of water. Therefore, it doesn't know there's water. Most people, I'm not picking on you, most people have no idea that it's all third chakra where they're living. That everything they're doing is about what do I want, what do I not want, what do I like, what I not like, who did what and why they do that, and how do I justify it or rationalize. It's just all ego. It's just all about me. Love can't be about me. If you want love for yourself, you ain't never going to find love. Love requires you to let go of yourself and care more about something or somebody else more than you care about yourself. Then you can transcend the third chakra, but it's hard. It's a very strong chakra. It's very strong stuff. And everybody's there. All your advertising is there. Your parents are there. You understand that? Everybody's trying to do something personal, trying to build a big following. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. It's all personal. It's all personal. It's so personal and it's so big, that frame of reference, that I'm pleased that you're here and you come back willing to hear about it. Otherwise, why are you wasting your time here? To go out and get things the way you want. And you wake up and you realize there is no getting things the way you want. They change all the time. Let's say you really feel open for somebody. And you've been that way for a while and telling them how much you love them. Love them at first sight is just a beautiful thing. What does it take for one person to walk up to you and whisper in your ear something about that person to where you don't feel that love again? So they're not right away till they justify themselves, find out whether it's true. I don't want to be with anybody that ever did something like that. But it was 30 years, I don't care. You hear me? Is that not how the life is? Okay? And next thing you know, gave away love. So that third chakra stuff, that personal stuff, really blocks the energy flow. And so what it's all about is transcending that, not forcing love and not finding somebody to love. You don't find somebody to love. Love cannot be coerced and forced to exist. It naturally opens, comes up to the next level because you stop stopping it. It boils down to. But you never stop. Even when you feel love, you're afraid you're going to get hurt. Come on. Right? You're really willing to just put it all out there, just bam. Well, not till I know you better, and not till this, and not till I've known you for long enough, and until I see that you're not going to hurt me. Yes or no? Well, that's not an environment for love. That's an environment for protectionism. Love cannot get hurt. The hurt that you feel in your heart is when you close your heart, and therefore the energy is hitting all this stuff, and it can feel like razor blades in there, can't it? That's because you close your heart. If you never close your heart, you don't ever feel that. Okay, there's different flavors as it comes up. It's all love. It's all love. Somebody once said, what if somebody you love dies and you really love them a lot and now they're not there anymore and you miss them, right? You're not supposed to feel that? No, you're supposed to feel that. And guess what you feel when you're really open? That is equivalent to saying to that person, this is how much I loved you. That's how much I love you. There wouldn't be pain. There wouldn't be loss if I didn't love you that much. So I haven't stopped loving you. That's just another expression of the open heart that's able to pour out, bleed, but love it. Love that expression. That's asking a lot of you, isn't it? Because ego don't want to feel that. It wants to protect us. Other people that end a relationship like that. And they say, I'll never have another one. I don't care. I don't need another relationship. I'm going to live by myself from now on. I know I don't want to go through that ever again. Okay, great. Don't. That's not a very high state. That's equivalent to saying my ego wins. I don't want to go through that again, so I'm going to control my life to where I don't get close enough to somebody, I don't give my heart to anybody, and so on. Okay? That's how a human lives, because they live in the third chakra. Is it possible to feel love all the time? Yes. How? Not to try and feel love, not to try to find somebody who makes in their presence you feel your heart open. That's wonderful. Believe me, it will not last. They're going to do something or say something or not do something or not say something at some point, and you're going to wonder and you close, and it doesn't last like that, right? The only way it lasts is to let go of yourself. You have to let go of what's below that, and we'll talk about that, so that it has the right to unconditionally. That's what I want you to have, unconditional love. It never goes away. It expresses itself in different ways, but it's all ecstatic. I mean, believe it or not, the feeling of deep loss is beautiful. It's just beautiful. But you have to be willing to feel the beauty. It feels different than the fulfillment, right? But it's just so real. Yes, it's depth to it, okay? Love is real. It's a real thing, but you can't handle it. So you protect yourself and you close off, and then there are people who never feel love again. Oh, it made me cry. I don't want you to live like that. You hear me? That's no way to live. You're here to evolve. You're here to grow. But when somebody says, I'm too old to love you, I'm not too old. Are you kidding me? The art has no age. It's a flow of Shakti. And it comes up and it feeds you day and night. It should be there all the time. You stop talking about how you think it needs to be. There is this flow of energy inside of you that never stops at any time, ever. You want to feel love? Wave your hand across your heart. It bursts open anytime you want. That's who you are. That's who you are. No matter what you ever did, no matter what you'll ever do, that is literally who you are. Just like the sun is always shining, there may be clouds between you and the sun, but that sun's always out there. That love is always there, unconditional, ready to feed you. That is what Christ meant when he said, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of God. What does that mean? It's inside, not outside. You're not living just by what you get from outside. There's an inner flow of Shakti, of spirit, that literally, when you're ready, goes up and never goes down ever again for the rest of your, not just life, existence. They will never stop flowing. But it can't flow when you close. It can't flow if you're willing to not have it flow. If you're willing to sit there and say, I loved you, but you did that, I will never love you again for the rest of my life. I'll never love anybody again for the rest of my life. You hurt me so bad. Okay, fine, you won't. Because you decided to hang out with that level of energy. Who decided? You did. But look what he or she did. I don't know what to tell you, man. People do all kinds of things. Yes or no? Can people hurt you? Yes or no? It takes two to tango. No matter what that person said or did, it takes you being willing to give up that beautiful flow inside of you to close down because they did that. Otherwise, I'm a nice Jewish yogi. I don't know. I try to talk. All I hear is Christ. What did he say? Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. You who was without sin, throw the first stone. In other words, yes, people do stuff, don't they? That's because they have an ego. Same thing as you do. And if that thing tries to get what it wants, it can walk all over you. So you do have the ability to close. But the deep teachings, and Christ was taught the deep teachings, right, are don't close. When? Never, no matter what. Okay, now we've laid the groundwork, and you are capable. Don't you dare think you're not capable. You're not able to do it right now. If you want to play the piano, you don't sit down there and play Mozart or Beethoven. You play the scales. And every time you sit down, you get better. It's called practicing. Practice a sport. Practice an instrument. You're going to get better. Doesn't mean you'll be a concert pianist, but you're going to get better every time you practice. This is exactly the same. You practice not closing. You practice not closing. It's not natural. Your natural tendency is to protect yourself. Natural tendency is to set borders and barriers and say what I like and what I don't like, and you better behave. That's what the instinctual lower self deals with. Well, you're transcendent to that. You're higher than that. But you have to work with yourself. And so now you get down to, how can I get to a state that's always love? Now, before I go on, because we're talking about it, just because you always feel love doesn't mean you don't deal with the outside world. It's not like, do whatever you want to everybody else and to me because I love you. It's, I love you. How can I help the situation? Hear me? I don't give up the love. I bring the love into the situation, and I look at the overall best way to raise the energy. One with my energy, with your energy, because you're bringing love into the situation instead of judgment and hatred and fear and revenge, that kind of junk, okay? You're bringing love in, but there may be things you need to do. There are people who harm other people. They need to go to jail. Okay, but do it with love. Do it on the spirit of, forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they do. I talked about that the other day, all right? Right? In other words, yes, they did terrible things. He couldn't have meant that. Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they do. Yeah, well, they did a terrible thing and hung on a cross. That was just an example of how bad it can get. And his statement was, forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they do. They know what they're doing. They're filled with ego. They're filled with preferences and fears and anxieties and needs. So they don't know what they're doing. So you start with openness. You start with forgiveness. You start by not closing your heart. But you have to learn how, and we'll talk about it. But you can reach that state. That doesn't mean you don't come down and help. Doesn't mean you just sit in a cave somewhere or in a room feeling, oh boy, great stuff. Okay? The love actually drives you to act because it wants to express itself. But it doesn't ever express anger. Not like that. Or revenge or hatred or judgment. All the great teaching. Judge not that you shall not be judged. In the third Zen patriarch, to end the burdensome practice of judging. Judging is ego. On what basis do you judge? Your ego, your past experiences, what you like and what you don't like. You judge her because she's wearing a certain thing. Well, you like her because she's wearing something different. Who decided this? You. You're the judge. Anytime you judge another human being, you're judging from your frame of reference. Surely not by theirs, because they did what they did, all right? But you're judging by your frame of reference. Anything that's personal, you're not going to feel love. Because it's personal. It has to be the way ego wants it to be. All right. So, like I said, I want to make sure you understand. It doesn't mean you don't come down and interact. There are very great beings like Gandhi, Martin Luther King. There's different ones that literally face terrible, terrible situations. And their principle was love. The principle was don't fight back, don't close. Bring energy into the situation that's able to raise the situation, not get even. Very deep teachings. Not everybody adheres to them. All right. So how do you reach that state? Now that we understand the state exists, and believe me, you want it. And so does the rest of the world. They want you bringing that into your moments, that you're bringing a very high being. I once said, somebody asked me, well, what's the highest state to live? What's the highest way to live? That every single human being you meet just met the most beautiful human being they've ever met. That's your state. That's your gift to the world. It's your gift to yourself. It's your gift to everybody and anything, no matter what. Then you see, maybe I need to help. You just see what you can do to raise the energy. You can't fix everything. Christ didn't fix the world. Buddha didn't change the world. Great beings, great teachings, all right? But we're not ready. This plane is not a very high plane. And all right, so how does one reach that state? I told you. You're not going to decide, I'm a totally open being and I'm never going to close my heart. Good luck. Because it ain't going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with you that it doesn't happen just because you decide. That makes sense. I should never close my heart. Good luck. All right? You have to practice. That's the great thing I learned over all the years. You are where you are. You must start where you are. If you want to go to New York, you better start with a map that starts where you are in Gainesville or in Florida. You can't say, well, it's so far away. What if I was in Atlanta or South Carolina? But you're not. You can't skip. You have to start from where you are. Don't judge yourself. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't feel guilty about where you are. Never. No. You accept where you are. Then what? Then you work with yourself on a regular daily basis, not just in meditation or retreats. On an everyday basis, there are situations that tend to close you and situations that tend to open you. They are your gateway to heaven. They are your spiritual path. That is your spiritual path. You look at yourself and you see, why did I close? Or why did I feel the tendency to close? Why did I get so upset about this person, what they said or didn't say? And you're going to see inside yourself that you did it. Yes, they did something, but you processed that with the garbage you stored inside yourself across the course of your life. I teach this all the time. You are not what you decided to be. You're programmed by your past experiences. If you like Republicans or like Democrats or like independents or like women or like men or like older or like younger, it's because you had experiences. And an experience could include reading a book. Experience could be somebody told you something. You didn't just make it all up. You had experiences that left impressions in your mind and your heart. And now when you look down there, you're the sum of your learned experiences. That's what psychology teaches you. You like what you like because something in your past made you like that. And just all of a sudden, ooh, okay. And then it all gets stored down there and it all jumbled together and you didn't even know what you like or dislike. Ever have trouble making decisions? Anybody have trouble making decisions? Well, of course you do. Why? Because at one point in your life, this happened and it was good. The same thing or similar thing happened at another point in your life and it was disturbing. You go back and forth. Well, this will be neat. I don't think so. I don't remember when, okay. We can try that. Nah. That's why you have trouble making decisions, because you stored all these different impressions inside, programmed your mind and your heart, your emotions, programmed your mind and emotions, and they are not consistent. It really is Freud's teachings. Freud says you've got the id, the superego, meaning societies, what they laid on your head, your primal drives, what your body and all that stuff laid on your head. Now you're going to try and live in there. So you build this model of yourself that tries to balance it all and that you can live with. It's hilarious. And you push the rest away, you get rid of that and grab this and change your mind. And you're trying to be okay in there. But you have all these different impressions. Your parents told you go to church or go to synagogue. And you decided, no, I'm going to rebel. Then you meet somebody that did go to church and they did real well. And they're going to talk to you about going to hell. And, maybe I screwed it up. I don't know. Your mind can do anything, can it? It can change on a dime. And it's hard to live in there because you're trying to build a you that fits all the experience that you've had. Well, there's no way they're going to fit all the experiences. That's why ego's so difficult to live with. You are a different person around your parents than you are around your boyfriend or girlfriend, than you are around your teacher. Different parts of you come out because you want to fit with the group you're with. And that's what you make up. You keep making up a you. I like when people say, which is the real me? None of them. Don't you dare try to find your true self. You're the one who's looking for it. I'm serious. There's somebody in there looking to say, who am I? I was that yesterday, but I don't feel good about that. Who is in there doing this? And the answer is, you're in there. Who? You, the witness, the consciousness, the objective observer. You are aware that you screwed up yesterday and you feel guilty about it. How? Because you held on to it and you're aware that that's going on inside of you. You're aware of everything that's going on inside of you. You're trying not to be. That's what suppression is. Freud said, if you got something going on in there that you can't make fit your ego, you push it away. It's so cute. You push it away. You get it out of your frame of reference. I don't want to think about it. Don't talk about that subject. You know I don't like talking about that subject. I told you not to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. He is so cute. Anybody got some soft spots in there? Those are the parts that didn't fit inside your ego. And you tried to make it all be a consistent you, which is very, very difficult. And when things didn't fit, you push it away. And the push away, by the way, Freud, it's really Freudian. It's very beautiful. He sat there and said, you suppress it. What does that mean? I don't want it in my head. I don't want to think about it. It's bothering me. Why is it bothering you? It's not bothering me. It's bothering the rest of your ego that it doesn't fit. You got to go back and forth and jump around, all right? So just push it away as much as you can. And then repression, I forget whether suppression or repression is stronger, it doesn't matter. But repression, you get even deeper down there. But the one I know about, I love talking about it, is denial. I know that's the bottom line. Well, what is the difference between suppression and denial? In suppression, you know you got that down there and it keeps trying to come back. You keep pushing it back down. Denial is I pushed that thing so far away, it didn't happen. Literally, that the psychological state of denial means it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It's not true. It's not true. I didn't ever say that. And you mean it. You're not lying. Okay? So these are the different states of who is denying it. Because somebody knows it happened. Somebody's pushing it away. Freud doesn't talk about who suppresses. He talks about suppression. I want to know who suppresses. Okay? It is the self, the consciousness. That's who's trying to pull the ego together. Who's holding it together? Consciousness. It's looking down at that messy energy in there. That's the sum total of your learned experiences. And they don't fit. And they sure don't fit when you go from 9 to 12 to 18 to 43. Ain't the same stuff down there, is it? It is still down there. That's what Freud taught. It's all down there. Was you with your mother? But now you don't deal with it that way. You push that away. I'm done with the dolls. I'm done with the mommy. And now I got to deal with the husband or the wife or the kids. And you're a mess in there. Do you understand that? And now you want to feel love. It's really funny. You hear me? Well, you're a mess in there. You can meet somebody. You can have some relationship in which it seems like, I feel so much better in your presence. It's unbelievable. I don't feel all the turmoil. You will, because it's not gone. You just distracted yourself from it because the energy flow is strong enough to where you didn't have to deal with yourself. It distracted you from yourself. You felt more attracted to somebody else. Do you understand that? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not dissing this stuff. It's all part of your human growth, right? But that's what's happening. Does it stay that way? You tell me. You've been around the block, right? That initial infatuation where your heart blows open and your mind, I don't care where we live. We can live outside as long as I'm with you. All right, until the first time it rains. Or until enough of your friends dish you. What are you, crazy? Haven't you seen what happens? So it can't last because that junk is still in there. You just managed to distract your consciousness from it. And while you're distracted from it, everything seems fine, but it's still there and you know it's still there. And you do indeed sometimes tell somebody you love, don't talk about that subject. It's hard for me to be open to you when you talk about that subject. I don't like it. Ever said that to anybody? Of course you have. That means your stuff is still in there. It's conditional. So what do? You understand that it's not going to go away in 2 seconds. It's your work. Just like learning the piano or learning a sport. It's your work. Well, I don't have time to do my work. It doesn't take time. Yoga Shakti, saint that gave us the Durga statue, once said, there's time within the time. That was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I didn't understand. Now I understand. Maybe there's time within the time. While you are doing this time out here, it doesn't take any more time to work on yourself. You don't have to go somewheres. I'm just here. It's happening. I love you. I feel this flow, but I feel it's starting to get weird in here. It doesn't say, I don't know where you were, and I don't know whether you said what I thought you might have said. And plus, I had a dream last night, and in that dream, I don't want to tell you what happened, but I'm looking at you. There's always something, right or wrong. You're a conscious being. You notice that. That's all I ask. I've gotten to the point where I don't even tell you to do something about it. Just notice. That's enough. Notice. Is there junk going on in there? Doesn't take much, does it? Okay? Are you willing to notice? Oh, there it is. The sum of my learned experiences. There's an event took place in the past. It's coming up. And you notice it. And then you'd be willing to relax. That's all it takes. I swear to you, the path is not difficult, but we won't live it. And we're not taught it either. You don't try to change it. If this is coming up inside and you start to close, there's a reason it's doing that. There's stuff that you stored down there from the past that left impressions in there. And it's causing this stuff to come up and you feel a tendency to close. You feel a tendency to protect yourself. If I had my way with you, I don't. If I did, I would say to you, the only thing you can do when you see that is relax. How does that fix it? You're not trying to fix it. You're trying to release it. That's a totally different thing. Fixing it means go away. I don't want to feel this. I shouldn't feel that. I'm not sure I love my husband anymore. I felt it before, but what am I going to do if I don't love him? That's just your junk surfacing. You're going to go through different stages in your relationships if you haven't noticed. You don't try to fix it. You notice it. There it is. And you notice the heart start to close. What do? Relax. You relax. In order to resist, push something away, fight, you can't relax. You have to tense to push it away, to fight it. If you can learn to relax every time it starts to do that junk of closing or the tendency to close, relax. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your buttocks, relax. Don't fight. Don't fight the mind. What if you have a bad thought? Has anyone ever had a bad thought? Has anyone ever had an X-rated thought across the stage of their entire life? Out of place, totally out of the question. Where did that come from? Yes or no? Okay? All right. So what do you do with that? You understand that's Freud's in. You just understand there's the animal aspect of your being, and it can relate to things that way, or anger, or fear. It just can do that, can't it? It's not a problem. Stop defining your thoughts as problems. Define them as having roots. There's a reason that this is going on. You don't have to get into it, but because you understand that, okay, it's okay. I have thoughts, or I have a bad thought about my ex-husband. No, I'm not supposed to do that. Stop it. If you were left with these impressions inside and you haven't worked them through, you're going to have bad thoughts. You're going to hear his name or see a picture, and the next thing you know, it's not going to feel so good in there. You may feel anger, you may feel revenge, you may feel whatever it is. It's not wrong. You don't want to suppress that. You don't want to sit there and say, I don't want to have this feeling. Too bad, you just had it. So to not have it, I don't know what to tell you because you had it. You can't not have had it. What you can do is honor and respect its right to pass through as it's releasing. It literally can release whatever energy was stored down there that caused this to get stimulated and have those any kind of thought. You're saying that? That energy can release. Those roots can release, but not while you're pushing them back down. Not when you're judging them. Not when you're saying, oh my God, I can't believe I thought like that. I don't want to think like that. No, the church says not to think. No, you're not supposed to think like that. You're talking to the wrong person, man. There's a reason that every single thought you ever had happened. And the reason is because of your past, you stored stuff in there and it all rumbled and jumbled together, or throw the dice, right? And at this particular moment, you saw the color blue and this thought came up. That's how it works. But you don't like it. You don't like that thought. You don't like to think you thought the thought. You're not supposed to thought that thought. You know what I mean? And you suppress it. Well, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. Just take the energy that caused it to come up and shove it right back down there because it's coming back up again and spreading out like a virus deep underneath. You never want to push it back down. But, there are times you got to hold yourself together. But that's what I teach. If you are capable of not judging yourself and not hating yourself and not getting down on yourself because of some thought that comes up, and you just look at it and just say, these are the thoughts that are caused by the past experiences. I don't have to explain why. I don't care. I know the why because I stored stuff down there in the past. That's why. How's that? That's broad enough for me. And what do? Relax. Whoa, are you ready to do that? You ready to not judge yourself or anybody else? You're ready to relax in the face of what came up that you would have closed about and judged yourself about and got down on yourself about and remembered, oh my God, I'm not a good person. You're not even a person at all. We'll get there. Forget a good one. If it comes up, honor its right to pass through. Because what you're doing then is releasing the root of why it's down there. That's how you grow. Do you understand that? And eventually it cleanses out and your thoughts get higher and higher and higher naturally, not because you said they were supposed to, not because you're matching some pattern. Okay? And so what you do is you understand that if you can handle the energy within yourself, how? Not by handling it, not by touching it, by releasing it. But how do I get my hands to release it? You don't. It does it by itself. It's a totally natural process. That stuff does not want to be stored in your heart. That stuff, whatever the stuff was from your past that you shoved down there and made part of your personality and your mess in there, right? It doesn't want to be in there. It will naturally push its way back up if you let it, but you don't let it. You think you're not supposed to feel that. I'm supposed to think that. I don't want to be like that. Or I might act on this. I'm afraid of it. I don't know what the heck you do, right? You have to change your attitude with the small stuff to start with. It's okay. Your past, by the way, is okay. How can you say that? I don't know. Christ said it. He without sin throw first stone. Okay? Forgive. Let go. Be open. Especially about your past. Don't you dare judge yourself based on your past. That is such an absurd thing to do. Why? You can't change your past. That's first. So now you're screwed, right? Because you're down there judging yourself, making yourself feel worse, so you can't raise yourself because you push yourself down. And the second reason is there's not a single thing that ever happened to you that you ever did or ever happened in your entire life that was not for your growth. What did he say? If you did it, you needed to grow from it. Doesn't mean it was right. Doesn't mean it was optimal. Doesn't mean it was good. But the fact that the energies inside of you cause your mind and your emotions to behave in that way, to act in that way, both inside and out, means they did. I felt upset and anger and I hit somebody. I felt upset and anger and I left somebody who I was supposed to love and never got back with it. Something happened. You hear me? But it did happen, didn't it? By definition, you acted that way. Okay, should I feel guilty? We'll talk about that in a minute. Should I feel guilty? All guilt does is push it further down. Whatever caused you to behave that way, when you feel guilty about it, you can't live with it. You push it away. So now you got a new thing you stored down there. Mayor Baba once said there's this tremendous difference between guilt and remorse. I never even looked at it until he taught it, right? It was so beautiful. He said, guilt is a human emotion that judges the action that took place and causes terrible feelings and fears and anxieties and sense of non-worthiness, okay? Remorse is a totally different thing. It is, I can't believe I did that. Not I judge myself for doing it. I can't believe now that I did that. How could I have done that? That means you grew. You're clearer. You would not have done the same thing again. When people come to me and say, what do I do without guilt? I ask them a very simple question. If the same situation happened again, would you behave the same? You know what they say? Of course not. Of course not. Then guilt is not the answer because you already grew past it. You're not the same person that did it. How can you judge yourself? I'm learning tennis and I hit the ball into the net all the time. I'm now a professional tennis player and I'm playing against the great players. I should feel guilt that I used to hit the ball into the net. I should be ashamed. Don't show me those pictures where I'm showing to the net. You should look at the picture and say, God, look how much I grew. You have the right to grow. So remorse means you grew enough to look at that behavior and know you would never do that again. And you feel the pain and the sorrow in the heart that other people got bothered, something like that. That is the samskara being released. Guilt, you push it back down. This way you're saying, okay, come on up. Come up. I want to see. Come up. Just come up. Let release. Because you're not the same person. Before you couldn't handle it. Now you can. And it's just a cleansing of the heart. The heart has the right to cleanse. Your body has the right to grow. Your mind has the right to grow. Your heart has the right to go through what it had to go through to learn the lessons it had to learn. And some of them don't look good on paper or elsewhere. Guilt does not help one iota. But however, if I ask you, okay, you hurt this person, you get all upset, you hit him, would you do it again? You're damn right I would. Okay, then feel guilt. Then guilt can help mold your behavior to maybe you'll learn something later. But remorse is much deeper. It's the heart feeling the release of what caused you to behave that way. And it's cleansing. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. As you feel that I would never want to be like that again. All right? And let go of the part of me that caused me to be that way before. And it can leave. But if you feel guilty about it, it's not going to leave because you owned it. Can anybody hear me? So you start raising yourself on not even a daily basis, a minute-to-minute basis. Okay? People say to me, Mick, you don't teach meditation. I want to teach you what to do when you're not meditating. You're welcome to meditate. You're welcome to use any methodology you want, but you ain't doing it 24/7, I can tell you right now. I want the rest of your life where you're saying every minute of my life is an opportunity to evolve. That's what's happening. How do I do that? By noticing what the heck's going on in there. And it ain't pretty. Let's get that straight. You put all the makeup on you want, you behave the way you want, talk the way you want. It ain't pretty in there. You know it ain't pretty in there. You got a lot of work to do in there to try and make it acceptable. And you don't even know how to make it acceptable because everybody wants something else from you, don't they? True for everything. How you wear your hair, whether you use makeup, every single thing. And so you'd eventually get to the point, I ain't living to make the way I am now match the way everybody wants. I'm evolving. How do you know you're evolving? Because it hurts. If you're getting everything the way you want it to be, don't bother being born, because you're not going to change. I think I'll change the height of the net so it's so far down that I never hit the ball into it. Okay, I figured it out. You didn't learn a single thing. You don't want to make things be the way you want them to be. You want to find out why things have to be a certain way for you to be okay. It's because you store all this stuff inside of you. And so as you go through your life, every minute of your life, someday you'll understand. First you say day by day, or retreats, the weekend. It's literally every minute. Why? Because you're in there every minute watching. You know you are. You're noticing what's going on in there. Yeah, my heart hurt, but I didn't want to act on it. Go on, just keep talking. What stops is, my heart hurt. Is that okay with you? It better be. Why? Because it did. Anything you do about it will be an attempt to make it not hurt, but there was a cause that caused it to hurt. And that was not outside. That was stored in there a long time ago. And so if you just entertain this attitude, I don't want any pain, I don't want it hurt, I don't want any trouble, I don't want anything like this, you're basically saying, I want to manipulate the world and everybody in it to behave in a way that when it comes into me, it doesn't bother me. Well, then you're not going to grow, and plus you'll never succeed. I can tell you right now, not even close. You don't want that. If you're a swimmer, they push you to go longer and swim harder and be faster. They don't sit there and say, oh, well, there you go, that's good. Not if you're on a swim team, not if you're playing tennis, not if you're playing the piano. Piano teacher doesn't come to you after 3 years. Oh, look, you can do a C, D, E, F, G. That's really good. No, they don't do that. They say, come on, man, we've done this one for a week. We should be past this. They push you. Well, life pushes you, doesn't it? It pushes you to face yourself, pushes you to realize there's junk in there, okay? But there's also beauty in there, but you have to let go of the junk. And so what happens is you start in the morning. I tell this all the time. Here's your spiritual path. You can do more. Here's the minimal. You wake up in the morning. Okay, first notice what's going on. Because it's not always nice, even the first thing in the morning. I'm tired. I had a terrible dream last night. Okay, then you sit there and you commit to noticing what's going on. I used to tell them to shut up. No, that doesn't work. Nicer would be, shh, it's okay. Shh. Just quiet down a little bit, no matter what it's talking about, no matter what's worried about. It's okay. Get quiet. And then say to yourself, today, I'm going to go through the day without closing my heart. I'm going to go through this day without closing my heart. And then you watch. And you'll notice that things happen that tend to close your heart. You do the best you can to relax. I told you, the answer is relaxation. It's not struggle. It's not suppression. It's not fighting. It's not some ideal. It's just relax. What does relaxing do? It allows the energy to release. Resistance pushes it back down. But if you relax, little bits of it can come up and pass through. And that is what it means to be opening your heart. You're practicing the piano. You're practicing staying open under regular situations. Well, what happens if I can't? You're going to fall down. Well, that's terrible. No, it's not. You hit the ball in the net. Learn better next time. You're not perfect. You fall down. At some point, you'll get up. You realize, whoa, I lost it there. I was supposed to stay open. It didn't stay open, and I yelled at somebody. I find it very funny. If you get back up. You hear me? So there's nothing wrong when you're riding a bike. You're the kid learning a bike. You're going to fall. That's terrible. No, it isn't. That's how you learn balance. If daddy's always holding the thing, you'll never learn to balance it. It has to be this way and that way. And eventually you'll feel what balance feels like. It's the same thing inside yourself. So you go through the situation, you fall down, and what I beg of you is, listen, I've been doing this for a long time, right? At first, if you come back up and you didn't want to fall, you'll rationalize that you didn't fall, it was somebody else's fault. They shouldn't have said that. I told them, don't say that. You're making me angry. Don't. I told you not to. Hit you with the pots and pans. No, you look at it and you take ownership. I wasn't able to handle that situation. And you just say, I'll do better next time. I'll do better next time. You don't suppress it. You don't hate yourself for it. Yes, I'll do better next time. And then you, as quickly as possible, come back to your center. Don't judge yourself. Don't rationalize. Don't justify. Just come on back up That was a nice trial run. I'll do it next time. Well, what happens if you really did some messy stuff, yelling at somebody or pots and pans or leaving your job in the middle of your work because you couldn't handle it? There will be repercussions. Oh, I thought if I accepted, nothing bad will happen. No, that's not how it works, okay? Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Guess what you do with that? Thank you. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for letting me go through what I wasn't able to handle, and then the repercussions that come back help me learn that I should have done that. That give me strength, give me inspiration to be stronger next time. And I'll tell you a secret. If you did stuff at work or this, the other thing, and your attitude when you come back from freaking out a little bit is what I just told you, it's much easier for other people to accept what you did as opposed to defending yourself and justifying or saying, well, I don't want to go back anyways, right? You just, well, I should have done better. I could have done better. I'll do better next time. Makes sense to you? That's how you grow spiritually. Every day, every minute, you do the best you can, right? But not judge and not get down on yourself. You should feel good about yourself. I'm growing. I hit the ball into the net 3 times today. I did 4 yesterday. It was 3 today. Be positive about your growth and be willing to accept the repercussions. They are your teachers. I can't get into it. Karma is not what you think it is. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is your teacher. Every action is the equal opposite reaction. If you put something out there and it's dirty, it's going to come back. It's not doing it to punish you. It's doing it to teach you. Don't go there. Did not work out so good. So you learn from it. Don't feel bad about it. You're a beautiful being. The more you let go of your personal self, and that stuff that comes back is sandpaper. It's chipping away at your garbage. You'll realize, I don't have to be like that. I could have done better. I could have done better. Maybe apologize. Maybe don't need to. Whatever it is. It's about you. It's about in there. Did you learn? Did you learn? Are you learning every minute of your life to be deeper and be more capable of raising yourself? All right? And you just basically do that. Can you imagine if you did every moment of your life? Someday you're going to find out when you do that, without you doing anything else, all of a sudden you're more open. Why? Because you stopped closing. Because the reason you used to close made it through. You realize, no, I can handle that. I could have done better. I'll do better next time. That's a great attitude. You hear me? I can remember times I would look at him during my growth. It took me a long time to get where I'm teaching you, okay? Because I used to judge a lot and fight a lot and all this stuff with him. But I remember midway, I would fight with him, and I'd say, your days are numbered. It's okay, right? I'd rather have you say, thank you for coming up. You are welcome in here. I can handle you. I know it's dirty. I know I shoved junk down there. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I shoved you down there in the past. You're welcome to come up. I honor your growth. I honor it. And I would try to help you, lift you up instead of pushing you back down. What happens when you do that? The energy changes direction. You don't realize that all of a sudden there's energy coming up and it's not going down. And then all of a sudden things happen, you can handle them because you don't have that junk in there. And then eventually it doesn't stop. It just goes up and feeds your heart day and night. Man does not live by bread alone, but every word that leaveth the mouth of God. That's the Shakti flow. And you start feeling this beautiful energy inside. And eventually it gets to a point where I ain't trading this for anything. And you just literally let go of the personal self because what's inside is much more beautiful. And it changes everything. It changes everybody. Those are the deep states. There is no fighting on the path. There's just surrendering and releasing and honoring and respecting and raising yourself. I quoted you from the Gita. It's deep. The Gita is as deep as it comes. One should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. For self that can be self's friend can become self's foe. The difference being the first self, one should raise the self, lower self, with self, the higher self. There's some higher stuff in there than what you normally act with. You can raise it because otherwise you're going to push it back down. All right. I said what I want to say. I'm surprised you're still here. I'm very proud of you, right? Well, it's not the way people live, is it? They basically say, I don't like what you did. Get out of my life. I don't like the job anymore. I liked my boss before. I don't even want to get to know this boss. I'm out of here, right? You quit on yourself constantly because it doesn't match what you want. And eventually you catch on. It's not supposed to match what you want. It's supposed to be sandpaper that's getting rid of you. Mayor Bob said that. It's like sandpaper. Life is sandpaper. It's just back and forth, just sanding away the ego, the personal self. That's a great revelation when you realize it is not supposed to be the way you want it to be. It's supposed to chip away. The final analogy I ever use is really beautiful. Is there's this giant piece of marble, 6 feet high and 3 feet wide. It's just marble, rough. They just cut it out of the quarry, and there it is. And you're that marble. And all of a sudden, something happens. Ow! Something happened on this corner. Ow! Something's hitting you. Stop it. Stop it. That feels terrible. Stop it. And it keeps happening. And eventually, you look, and there's David's arm carved out of the marble. That's Michelangelo carving you into something really beautiful. That's what God does. That's what your growth is. Do you understand that? Thank you. Chakra.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.